Chris.
I'm Eddie.
And we are not too old to talk about, do, and experience things we love. And this show, the whole theme of this project, is talking about you can do things again. You can start over. You can have a second wind and a second project and a second chance and a second try.
Sure.
And seconds of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and you can go up to the buffet a second time.
30 seconds to Mars.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes just much longer than that to get there.
Probably.
Maybe the band was named after like the progress of a trip.
Sure.
And like,
Yeah.
are we there yet?
No,
30
we're
seconds.
30 seconds to Mars.
But you can only do certain things for the first time.
Sure.
And they're just that much more special because of it, some would say. And we're going to
Yeah.
talk about specifically TV shows that we wish that we could Men in Black mind erase each other and watch
Sure.
again for the first time. And I'm going to let you lead off.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
what are the shows that you just... It's
I
easy to think about like the funny ones.
yeah, so there's one that I said that I think entitled both of us. So an honorable mention for the two of us, and In Spirit Bill.
Bill is alive. And this is a dangerous trend because if something happens, you're going to feel really guilty when
Sure.
it's all recorded.
You're right. And that would be Making a Murderer.
Okay.
I wish that the three of us could watch Making a Murderer together,
Okay.
because that was a very fun experience all the way around.
Yeah, because the three of us lived together at the time.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting time to be alive and to live at Kent Street.
Yeah, and just like
The hovel that we lived in.
there was this weird thing that we would do from time to time, because the Brandon Dassey called his mom after admitting to a murder he didn't do.
Yeah, he later was like, wait a minute, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. And so he calls his mom, and she just asks him, "Did you do it?
No.
Then why'd you say you do it?"
You just say that over and over.
Oh,
and over. That is something that you can only watch the one time.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? It's like,
Yeah.
that is in vain of like the Tiger King.
Yeah.
Whereas like maybe that has replayability, but I think it's just the shock of this
The
man's
first time.
actual life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Unfolding before you. So there's going to be honorable mentions, and I will kind of like lump like some funnies, like because the thing is, the reason that these aren't like the real answers for me, because obviously it's The
Yeah.
Office and The Simpsons. Right?
Sure. Right.
Because how great is it to hear a joke for the first time?
Right.
But at the same time, the replayability of both of those shows is so monstrously through the roof,
Yeah.
and they're still funny to me and a lot of people,
Right.
that like they didn't make the cut of like the actual answer, because I can still watch season 3 of The Simpsons with
It's still funny. The Muppets. I can watch the Muppets all the time.
The Office. I mean, like, these are very repeatable things. So my first honorable mention is going to be, and the reason, okay, these two shows, right, my honorable mention and my actual number one, are similar in like tone
Sure.
and heaviness.
Okay.
But one of them fell off and the other one didn't. So that's why one of them
Sure.
is the silver and one of them's the gold. Taking the silver medal for me is Dexter.
Okay.
So I loved that show.
Yeah.
Loved it, right? Like anybody that watched like from the first season with the ice cream truck killer, it is gripping. The characters are easy to invest in. The main character is so compelling and interesting and different. He's like a detective and a bad guy, but like a good bad guy.
Sure.
And like, I don't know, complex. When I can say spoiler alert, like the 17 years
Sure.
old, like when Rita died, it was shocking.
Sure.
Like, very few things in television can like make you go like no effing way.
Sure.
And that's one of them
Sure.
for every Dexter fan. And it was John Lithgow of all people.
Yeah,
doing it.
right.
Just like always well cast, always well acted right through season 4. Season 5 is okay, and the show seems to just really fall off a cliff with, by the way, a very unsatisfying conclusion.
Yeah, so much so that they made a sequel series and now a prequel series?
And that's just damage control that can't be done. The
Yeah.
real answer is to fans that watch the show and refuse to like now get abridged versions of these things, then he became a lumberjack.
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, Deb should have killed him, or he should have killed himself because he's become a monster that only he can kill.
Yeah, right.
Something more than a lumberjack quietly reflecting in a cabin.
Yeah, right.
Just brutal. So Dexter, though, because like Dexter's also a show with replayability, but it's like that classic like detective whodunit element to the show as well. Is like you are also trying to figure these things out with him. There's
Sure.
always the information you have that he doesn't, but we kind of get shocked together. As
Sure.
we figure out who these killers are every season, right?
Yeah.
And you can only experience that like clue building. Who,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you can go back and reappreciate it for being very good television and pick up things you may have missed. And now that you know, these things-
Well, you know to look for this clue now.
you're exactly right. But you can only who done it and something like Dexter once
Right.
with that kind of like
Right.
suspense. So that's my silver medalist. Who got your
Sure.
gold? That's your number one show you wish you could watch
So
for the first time.
the show that I really wish that I could watch again for the first time was The Shield. I loved The Shield, and I don't mean the wrestling faction.
It's Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
Seth Rollins,
And Dean Ambrose, redacted.
beating up fools.
Yeah. No, the show is about a like California SWAT team, and they're cops that don't quite play by the rules. It is very, very good. It is what I like to say, like the godfather of like all of those Breaking Bad and Dexter and like all of these type of shows, because it was on FX and it was edgier than NYPD Blue, which was already edgy. And, you know, these were anti-heroes, and it was a storytelling in a way that I just hadn't seen up until that point. And I absolutely loved it.
And I think it's probably, again, one of those shows where, like, as you're trying to figure out where the seasons are going and stuff,
Yeah.
there's such a sort of energy that you can't recapture the second time.
Right.
My number one, I think might have been on the same channel as The Shield. I am a nerd about this show. I'm one of those people that like, you know, like the nauseating fan that tells everybody it's the best. I am one of those people. There is an energy about it that I wish I could watch for the first time because there's so many shocking things, especially in the last season. And it's what I think is the best written show that wasn't on an HBO or Showtime or on like cable, and it's Breaking Bad.
Sure.
And Breaking Bad, like I'm a geek about it, and I don't insist on many things, but I just think the writing and the fact that like a telltale thing about that by Breaking Bad is it's like the Beatles. There are no bad albums. They
Yeah.
did not suck. They stopped before they got a chance to.
It's really funny because I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I've never seen Bang Camaro or whatever the hell that Netflix movie. El Camino.
It's not good.
I never saw El Camino. I didn't watch Better Call Saul
Me neither.
because I watched Breaking Bad from start to finish, and I was done.
Can I tell you, I didn't enjoy El Camino at all.
I bet. I don't know.
It was one thing that it was jarring how much older everybody looked because I think they were
Sure.
almost 10 years apart between
Yeah.
finale and releasing that thing, and I just didn't find it to be interesting. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. But Breaking Bad is one of those shows. Again, I can spoil this. The show
Yeah.
like 11 years ago. Like when Hank gets shot in the
Yes.
desert, it is so like we all were Walt reacting that way. Just that shock to your knees, like.
Yeah.
Did that really happen moment? And there are so many of them on this show that I wish that I could regain like the feeling of just complete suspense,
Yeah.
right? Like getting to know, you know, the Gus who owns the Los
Los Pollos Hermanos.
and him devolving into a complete psychopath, and the character of Walt and the complete evolution that we were taking on, or de-evolution of that guy.
Sure.
I was gripped right away because people say the show starts slow. The first couple episodes, the one where he has to like kill the guy in the basement.
Yeah.
The show
Yeah.
starts.
No, the second season drags.
You think so?
I think this is the second season drags because I think that it was like, I think that they had a story for the first season, and I don't think that they anticipated how good it was going to be. And so it was like, we need to get picked up immediately. And they were like, shit. And so they like kind of slow paced the second season while they figured out the rest of it. Because then once season 3 starts, it just goes.
And the best thing is that Vince Gilligan has talked about how he knew how this show was going to end.
Yeah.
And with the best stories, the best twist endings, oh man, didn't see it coming, is always when you write it backwards.
Yeah, right.
Like the reason...
Hi, buddy.
There's the cat. The reason that The Sixth Sense works is because he always knew that that's where they were going. I don't think The Sixth Sense has replayability.
Sure.
Right? Because there's a lot of nonsense in there. But the finale of Breaking Bad was always decided. These things were going to happen. Walt was going to die.
Yeah, right.
And it was going to destroy everybody. And so he didn't have to lump things in and retrofit things and like stuff that I hate with shows, as silly as it sounds, where it's like they talk about having a brother and then by season 3 they're an only child.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
They never had to do that kind of thing because he always knew that like Walt was going to wind up dead, but not before he left a wake
Yeah, right.
of carnage along
Sure.
the way and turned into,
Yeah.
all of it. But Breaking Bad, I just think is, of all the things that I've seen, some just amazing television, it would always be good to just snap your fingers and tell yourself, hey, you're going to love it, right?
Sure.
I think when it comes to shows like The Shield and shows like Breaking Bad, there's just something about the what's going to happen next
Yes.
factor
Yeah.
that is much more compelling than just the fact that I don't know the jokes.
Yeah, because like Sons of Anarchy has a lot of that as well.
It's a great choice.
And you have a lot of moments. There's the end of season 3, I think, where it's this massive cliffhanger.
The Sopranos.
The Sopranos.
The Sopranos
Yeah.
is an outstanding show that
Right.
it would be great if you didn't know what was coming.
Sure.
But for me, like Breaking Bad just was such a roll. Like I don't know. I don't gush about many things. I just think that show is brilliant, and I know it's so cliche and in art student.
Sure. That's fine.
I love it, and that's my choice. And we want to know what your choice is. There's a comment section.
Here,
Let
go
us
to this
know.
one.
There's a comment section. Let us know. What are the shows that if you could, I don't know anything about this show, and rewatch it again for the first time, what would it be? My name is Chris.
I am Eddie.
We appreciate you watching. We are not too old to do talk about and experience the things we love, and we will see you in the next one. Let us know what kind of TV we care about.
All right, buddy.